Hello and welcome to this Price of Job tutorial. In this video we'll be taking a look at the external stone walls module. To access the external stone walls module, navigate to the module toolbar here in the top of the screen and select the walls category, and then expand the external walls submenu and select stone wall and create the module. Alternatively, if you already have an external walls module created, you can simply duplicate this module and here in the main stage, change the wall type. From an existing solid wall, we'll change this one to a stone wall. And because we duplicated this module, this shares the same measurements as our previous module. So currently only the outer skin has been measured. So to update this for our current needs, we can either input the area of the outer skin if we know it, or we can access the area calculator to see our previous calculations. To revert back, simply save the calculator, and this is updated back to our outer skin. Same applies for our inner skin. If we know the area of our inner skin, due to the inner and outer corners, this is going to be different from the area of our outer skin. So if we know the area of our inner skin, we can input that manually. Otherwise, again, we can access the area calculator and input our various values here. In this case, we'll just take an estimate and say that our inner skin will be approximately 88 square meters. Then we can select the style of our stone wall. This style would be a cavity wall using a stone outer skin and a brick inner skin. Or we can select a stone outer skin and a block inner, or a stone outer skin and a timber inner skin, or just a solid stone wall. First, let's take a look at the stone outer and brick inner. First, we'll have a look at the stage for the stone wall. When estimating stone walls, you can order the stone either by area required or by weight. If calculating by area, Price of Job will assign an allowance per square meter. If calculating by weight, Price of Job assigns an allowance per ton. And this will be largely dependent on the wall thickness. As we increase the wall thickness, the materials required greatly increases. And we can see this updated here within the estimate. If we decrease the thickness of our wall, the cost of materials adjusts accordingly. Then we can set the ratio of our cement to sand, either 1:1, 1:2, 1:3, 1:4, 1:6. And notice that Price of Job has been automatically updating the materials required for the cement, the sand, and the plasticizer. So we'll just adjust this to a more standard ratio, and we can see that our estimate has been updated accordingly. And likewise, Price of Job has also calculated the labor required to lay these stones and assigned this task to a bricklayer. Next, we'll take a look at the forming cavity, and we'll expand our sketch pane for a closer look. If we deselect this stage, we can see that this is in reference to the wall ties. And here we have options to use either SPS wall ties, which is a flat bar with an insulation retaining clip, or the HRT wall ties, which is more of a light-duty bent rod, suitable for houses up to about 10 meters in height. For this stone wall, I think we'll use the stronger SPS ties. And this is updated here within the estimate. Next, we'll take a look at the insulation. If you don't require insulation, you can deselect this and it's removed from the estimate, but otherwise we'll include this, and we have choices of using either Celotex or slabs of mineral wool. In either case, we can select the drop-down menu to select the material we prefer to use. If PRR boards, we can select the Celotex here. If the material we're looking for is not represented, we can select Edit Pack and search the Price of Job library for another material. If the material we're looking for doesn't exist in the library, we can add a new one by selecting Add Material and then inputting the title, unit, price, category, and website link to confirm the pricing. In this case, we'll just stick with standard PRR boards, and we'll choose 30 mil Celotex. Then there's the stage for the inner skin brick. Here we can choose whether we'll be using facing brick or engineering brick, with the engineering brick being much stronger. And we'll just scroll down to the estimate so we can see the pricing difference between the two. Here we have the facing brick and the engineering brick. Then we can set the cement to sand ratio and choose the brick from the materials below. If the brick will be supplied by client, we can indicate that, and here in the estimate it shows a cost of $0 for the brick, and here in the estimate it shows that an exclusion of engineering bricks is supplied by the client. However, the labor is calculated automatically and assigned to a bricklayer. If we don't know the brick that we'll be choosing just yet, we can set this to an allowance. PriceJob recommends an allowance of 60p per brick. And if we want, we can override this. Let's say £1 per brick. And this highlights yellow here within the estimate to show an overridden value. We can reset this to its default by selecting the cog icon and resetting it. And now within our description, it shows an allowance for the engineering bricks. This allows us to defer the decision until a later point, at which point we can calculate the difference in pricing and update our invoice accordingly. And PriceJob has automatically calculated the labor for each estimate as we've input it. However, if we require additional laborers to be on site, we can select the general laborers stage here and add the number of laborers that we want to have and choose whether that's for days, weeks, or months, the number of days, weeks, or months we'll require them for, and the number of hours per day. If we don't require any general laborers, we can just deselect this stage. And for additional accessories, if we require any extras, we can simply select on the icon here, and this opens the accessories menu where we can select from a variety of wall starter kits, expansion joints foam, timber frame wall ties, DPC, air bricks, additives, sealants, and cavity closers. And if we need any materials, we can just simply select that and it's added to our accessories. We can increase the quantity as required, and this is added to a separate stage within our estimate. PriceJob also calculates all the labor required to install these accessories that we've selected. If no accessories are required, we can just simply deselect this stage. We'll leave them included for now, and we'll notice that as we've been adding the various accessories, PriceJob has automatically added a nicely written description here within the auto description. These descriptions are carried over here to the reports tab and show within the quote that we'll be showing to our client. We can just show a simple quote here with a description of the work to be performed, and here is all the accessories that we selected. We currently have this quote displaying a 10% discount, and this can be modified here within the project details pane. Simply select project details with the 3 dots at the top or the 3 cogs at the bottom, and this opens the project details window. Here under the 4 tabs we have a VAT and profit tab, and you can scroll down to the VAT and discount section. Here the discount is identified as a percentage. We can either change this percentage if we want to, say maybe 5%, and this adjusts the amount of discount here shown in our quote, and we can see here in the background that the discount has changed automatically. If we prefer to use a fixed discount amount, we can just input that manually, say a £1,000 discount, and that shows automatically here in the background in our quote. Or if there's no discount at all, we could just set this discount for no, and that removes the discount field from our subtotal. Now you're free to either print out the quote, export it as a PDF or a Word document, or email it directly to your client from within PriceJob. And that's how to use the stone wall module. Thank you for using PriceJob.